Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon Sun and Moon Movesets video. Today's video is going to be all about Araquanid, so let's get started by taking a look at this Pokemon's typing, abilities, and stats. So to start things off, Araquanid is a water bug type Pokemon, and actually one of two Pokemon introduced this generation that possess this unique typing that previously was only shared by Surskit. As for its abilities though, the first one that it gets is Water Bubble, which is an ability that actually has three different properties to it. The first of which being that it makes it so that this Pokemon can never be burned. The next property is that it makes it so that it weakens the damage of Fire-type moves. And the third property of this ability is that it actually doubles the damage of Water-type moves, which just makes this one of the craziest abilities to ever be introduced because it's like three things in one that normally are abilities in themselves, which is really cool. But its secondary ability, which is its hidden ability, is known as Water Absorb, which makes it so that this Pokemon is immune to water-type attacks. As for its stats though, the first thing to note is that this Pokemon has base 68 HP, which isn't that high in itself, but it is backed up by base 92 physical defense and base 132 special defense, allowing this Pokemon to actually be really bulky and last for a very long time in battle, despite its lower HP stat. As for its attacking stats though, it has base 70 physical attack, which may not seem that high, but it has access to some very good physical attacks, and then also combining that with Water Bubble boosting the damage of its water-type moves, this physical attack actually isn't that bad. Same thing goes for its special attack, while only being base 50, could still be put to use because of the Water Bubble ability, despite the fact that again it's the lower of the two stats. But the last thing to make note is that this Pokemon has a base 42 speed stat, which does make it fairly slow. But much like Mudsdale in the video that I just uploaded before this one, it does have the bulk to actually take hits and deal damage despite its low speed stat. But with that, let's take a look at the first moveset that I have for you in this video. So for this first moveset, there are actually quite a few options we can go with for natures and also EV spreads. So the first one that you're looking at is the one designed to make this Pokemon as fast as possible and as offensive as possible. So with this, we can either go with an Adamant Nature to boost your physical attack but lower your special attack, a Naughty Nature to increase your physical attack but lower your special defense, a Jolly Nature to boost your speed but lower your special attack, or a Naive Nature to boost your speed but lower your special defense. And for the ability on this moveset, we're going to be going with Water Bubble. As for the EVs, we're going to max out its physical attack with 252 EVs into that, and also put 4 EVs into its defense and max out its speed with 252 EVs into that. And as for the item, either going with a Choice Band to increase the damage of all of your physical attacks, a Choice Scarf to boost your speed, a Life Orb to increase the damage of your moves while taking 10% recoil every time you damage your opponent, an Expert Belt to boost the damage of your super effective moves, an Assault Vest to boost this Pokemon's special defense even further, thus allowing it to take hits very well while it tries to damage its opponents. And also we could run Leftovers for some recovery at the end of every turn, or a Chesto Berry to allow this Pokemon to heal up and get back up to full health through the use of the Rest move in combination with it. As to the moves though, the first one that we're going to use here is going to be Liquidation, which is a new water type attack that not only is 85 base power, but also has a chance to lower your opponent's physical defense, thus making subsequent attacks with this move deal even more damage if you do get that defense drop to happen. As for its next move, we're going to run Leech Life as a way to give this Pokemon a powerful Stab Bug type move that can also recover health, which could be very useful for this Pokemon to allow it to last longer in battle. Then for a third option, we're going to go with either Poison Jab or Crunch to give this Pokemon some additional type coverage and allow it to hit more things super effectively. As for the fourth move slot though, there are another few options that we can go with, each kind of giving this set a little bit of a weirder effect to it that allows this Pokemon to potentially counter something that it normally wouldn't be able to. So for the first one, we're actually going to run Scald potentially and make this more or less a semi-mixed attacking set, even though we're not putting any special attack EVs on it, mainly just because Scald can burn your opponents, and that's just really good, regardless of what Pokemon is using it. So this is why I also suggested the Naughty and Naive Natures, so that you're not lowering your special attack, and do keep in mind that Scald, even with no special attack investment, is still boosted by Water Bubble, so it will do decent damage. We could also run Mirror Coat on this set to allow this Pokemon to potentially dish out some damage back at its opponents that basically, hit them from the special side, similar to what you usually see something like Wobbuffet do. And this is particularly useful on this Pokemon, especially when combined with an Assault Vest because it means that you could essentially take a Volt Switch and then mirror coat whatever the heck comes in. And normally you would have to worry about dark types blocking mirror coat, but because this Pokemon is a strong bug type with access to Leech Life to hit them super effectively, that really isn't a factor with this Pokemon, which is really cool. But for the last move, we could also potentially run Rest as a way to recover this Pokemon's health, use that in combination with the Chesto Berry, or just use it as a way to allow this Pokemon to heal up to full and have something else maybe get rid of the sleep status through the use of Aromatherapy or Heal Bell. Now, as mentioned before, you could also run this set a little bit differently by investing a little bit more into your bulk. So for this variation, we're going to run either an Adamant Nature to boost your physical attack but lower your special attack, or a Naughty Nature to increase your physical attack but lower your special defense, and then changing up the EV spread slightly to give you 224 HP EVs, 252 physical attack EVs, and then putting the remainder 32 EVs into your speed to make this Pokemon fast enough to outspeed base 45 speed Pokemon it falls just short of outspeeding. Now, on the other hand, as mentioned in a couple of other moveset videos, if you do think this Pokemon is so slow that you're only going to use it on a Trick Room team, this is the moveset for you to go with. And basically it includes giving it a Brave Nature to increase its physical attack but lower its speed, and then changing up the EV spread again to be 248 HP EVs, 252 physical attack EVs, and 8 defense EVs to give it its max bulk while also maximizing its physical attack. As for this next moveset, we're going to give Araquanid a little bit more sustain in battle. So we're going to start off by giving it an Adamant Nature to increase its physical attack but lower its special attack, going with the Water Bubble ability, and then running an EV spread of 224 HP EVs, 252 physical attack EVs, and 32 speed EVs, like on the second variation of the first moveset, to give this Pokemon some added bulk and allow it to outspeed base 45 speed Pokemon it falls just short of outspeeding. As for the item though, this time we're either going to go with a Life Orb to allow this Pokemon to deal some increased damage at the cost of losing 10% of its health every time it damages them, though that isn't as big of an issue with this moveset. We could also run Leftovers to allow this Pokemon to recover a little bit of HP at the end of every turn, or we can also run a Rocky Helmet to allow this Pokemon to get a little bit more extra damage on its opponents by switching this guy into a contact move that you potentially could also resist due to your pretty cool bug and water typing. As for the moves though, the first one we're going to go with is going to be Liquidation, and using that in combination with your other stab move on the bug side with Leech Life. And Leech Life on this set is going to be amazing because that used in combination with the Rest Talk combination, as you see also on the screen, is going to allow this Pokemon to last for a very long time and continue to damage things with its powerful physical attacks, including its Water Bubble boosted Liquidation. So overall, this is another way to use this Pokemon to allow it to last a little bit longer and make use of its really good stab combination, and also just really powerful water moves that you're going to use as kind of one of the main things for this Pokemon to abuse on your team. As for this last moveset, we're going to focus on running Araquanid as a fully defensive Pokemon, which it can do very effectively due to its high defensive stats. So we're going to start this one off by giving it a Careful Nature to increase its special defense but lower its special attack, and then we're going to use the Water Bubble ability again. As for the EVs, this time we're going to put 248 into its HP, 100 into its physical defense, and then 160 into its special defense, to allow this Pokemon to have some pretty well-rounded mixed bulk, but focusing a little bit more on its special bulk because it does that a little bit better. As for the item though, this time we're going to run Leftovers as our main way of recovering HP at the end of every turn, and really the only recovery that we have on the set outside of an attacking move. But for those moves, again, Liquidation is going to be a staple of pretty much all Araquanid movesets, but we're also going to use either Leech Life or adding Lunge into the combination for your main bug-type stab. Leech Life, as mentioned before, is good for allowing you to recover health, of which this Pokemon unfortunately doesn't have access to a move like Recover or something like that. But you could also make use of Lunge as a powerful bug-type move that will lower your opponent's physical attack, thus allowing this Pokemon to take physical hits a lot better. Then we're going to be running Protect on this moveset to work in combination with your last attack potentially, but more so as a way to allow you to scout for moves that your opponent is going to go for, and also allow you to gain some crucial Leftovers recovery to allow this Pokemon to be sustained throughout the battle for a longer period of time. For those last move options though, again we're going to throw Scald on here as a way to potentially burn your opponents, because even though we aren't a special attacker, the burn is going to help us out significantly with taking physical hits. We can also again run Mirror Coat, and with the increased special defense investment that we're running on this set, we could very easily take special hits and mirror coat them back at our opponents to deal some significant damage. We could also run Toxic as a way to poison them and get some residual damage to rack up over time, which works very well in combination with Protect. Or we could even run Infestation on this Pokemon to trap its opponents and possibly take them out through the use of the damage that occurs at the end of every turn from Infestation and your stab combination between Liquidation as your water type stab or Leech Life and Lunge as your main bug type stab. But overall, you may potentially invest a little bit more into certain defensive stats on this Pokemon if you're going to run a fully defensive stat in the future, as mentioned in many of my previous videos, depending on how the metagame develops and what you'll want Araquanid to take hits from more so. But overall, this is just a good basis for this Pokemon running a fully defensive set and allows it to take full advantage of its awesome defensive stats. But with that, everybody, that is it for this video, so thank you all for watching, and as always, take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.